on, and we are actively trying to find out what happened to Summer Wells, and we're trying to get answers here. I want everyone to watch this video I'm about to show, watch and listen, and then we will discuss. Check it out. So this is a neighbor of Don and Candus Wells, and he provides insight about the day Summer was reported missing and events that happened before Summer Wells was reported missing and after Summer Wells was reported missing. Let's go through it, and then we will discuss.
Let me tell you a strange story that no one knows. The day that Summer Wells went missing, my wife messaged Candus Wells on Facebook asking her if there's anything that they needed. Pretty common question.
The wife, his wife, like he said, messaged Candus Wells.
In that situation, if there be such a thing as a common answer. But the response was a 6-pack of Mountain Dew.
So they asked Candus, his wife asked Candus, is there anything they can do to help? And Candus replies, a 6-pack of Mountain Dew. Now, whether that was Candus that replied or not, or someone using her account, could have been Don or somebody else, but the reply that they got was a 6-pack of Mountain Dew. Now, that's odd. To me, that is very, very odd response to a genuine question from a neighbor that's asking, hey, do you need help or anything we can do? Yeah, I need a 6-pack of Mountain Dew.
I found that odd. Second strange encounter that we had around when Summer went missing, Don Wells had came down to my home. I wasn't there yet.
All right, so he said Don Wells came down to his home. So it looks like this neighbor here lives somewhere along Beach Creek. We know that Don and Candus Wells live on the top of Ben Hill Road, go down their driveway, and then Ben Hill Road goes down to Beach Creek Road 347. So this neighbor here had to live somewhere real close to their home along Beach Creek somewhere.
Guys that I work with and my wife were there, and he spoke with them the very next day. And they tell me that his whole conversation was around her being in a better place, her being in a better place, her being in a better place. And they found that odd.
So Don Wells went down to their home the very next day and was speaking about Summer in past tense. She's in a better place. She's in a better place. So, you know, Summer is no longer on this earth. She's no longer alive, according to this guy here. That's what he thinks Don was kind of implying.
Now, once again, we don't know how we'd act in a situation. I'm just giving you some points, giving you some information that I have that no one else has. You can take that for what it's worth, make your own opinions, read into it, don't read into it, whatever. But these are things that we know because of being near the area, local law enforcement, things like that. Number 3 is 2 or 3 nights later on a rainy night, there's some country roads back through that way. You can, there's a back road that you take that comes out there in Kingsport, and it's a traveled road, but it's not traveled a great deal. And Don and Candus were seen it's about a mile and a half from their house, pulled over on the side of the road, very, very, very country road. Don was behind the wheel. Candus was out, and she was coming out of the wooded area.
Okay, so he says that 2 or 3 days after Summer Wells was reported missing, so 17th, 18th of June, 2021, Don was behind the wheel, and they were seen along a country road between their house in Kingsport and Candus was coming out of the woods. If this is true, what do you think Candus was doing in the woods there? Were they looking for Summer? Were they getting rid of evidence? Why were they parked along the side of a country road? And which road was it? There's many roads that branch off of 347. Was it 347, which is Beach Creek? Or was it another road on its way to Kingsport, a side road? One of those roads that go into the holler. I wonder what road.
I think she probably could have waited to get home. Maybe not. But
he just said, hey, maybe she was using the bathroom. But you would think, if they're a mile and a half from their home, they would just wait till they go home to use the bathroom. Especially, if you have to go, you got to go. But if you're close to your home, you're just going to wait till you get home. So what was she doing there, if this is all true?
That was strange, that they were off in a secluded area, at dark, while it's raining, and Candus Wells was seen coming out of the woods about a mile and a half away from their home. So I think law enforcement should talk to this guy here and ask where exactly was that location. Has authorities searched that area? Have they already looked? Have they asked Candus if this is true? Have they questioned Candus about being on the side of the road here, Don driving? Let's go on. Also, another strange thing was, you've seen pictures of how high, the mountain, the hill going up to their house or whatever. Now, at the bottom of the hill, there's like a field. Now, that field's always grown up. But about a week or less before Summer Wells went missing, Don Wells mowed that down. I say mowed, hacked it down because it's about chest high.
Assuming that's at the bottom on their property, Don and Candus Wells, Ben Hill Road, on their property, down there by that shed. The shed that I posted a video about that shed. Other people that have been following this case, YouTubers, have posted about that shed. Right there at the shed, it's a field. It's a field to the right, to the left is the woods, and then going up the hill to their home, there's a big field there, and there's a small little dirt type, roadway that can go to that shed from Beach Creek. So he's saying that Don Wells mowed and hacked down that area before Summer Wells was reported missing.
That's the first and only time that field has ever been mowed. That field sits at the base of that very hill that he come out and said that he feels like someone took her down the hill and then they had to went through that field and off to wherever.
It confirms out of his mouth that right there by that shed, Don mowed that area. Why? If it's true. Remember, if it's true.
Also, the Ranger, black, older model Ford Ranger that was seen in the area, we were told by law enforcement, we turned in that clue. We were told by law enforcement that was that truck was there. It was at the end of Ben Hill Road picking up an automotive part.
Beginning of this investigation, they were looking for that truck. According to this guy, who I'm assuming is the neighbor, said that they're the ones that reported the truck. And as he just said, the truck was at the end of Ben Hill Road getting an auto part. Well, there is a house at the end of Ben Hill Road. The neighbor, the Chambers, was it just like a transaction going on there for an auto part that the guy was just there to pick up, or a girl in the truck to pick up a part? It has nothing to do with the Summer Wells case. Let's go on.
Also, I was told by law enforcement that whether the scent, I've seen several places that say a dog picked up the scent and it ended. I've been told by a fairly credible source that was not the case. Also,
saying no scent. We've heard stories about scents going off the property, down the hill of Ben Hill, onto down the home of Don and Candus Wells from their home, down to Ben Hill Road. According to this guy, it's not true. He's saying he has law enforcement sources. This is, again, most likely a neighbor. He's claiming he reported the truck, and Don went to his house the next day. So, is this guy telling the truth?
The FBI came and talked with people in the area. The two questions they wanted to know were, have you seen anything abnormal? Did you see anything abnormal that day or out of the ordinary? And number two was, what type of people were Candus and Don Wells?
So FBI is asking neighbors and people in the community around the home of Don and Candus Wells, what type of people Don and Candus Wells are. Trying probably to get a profile of Don and Candus Wells, their character, nature and characteristics of an individual, to get a profile of them, asking people around their home about them.
These are some strange things that we know from being close to the area where Summer Wells went missing. What do you think about these?
So what do you think about what this guy said? All right, so you heard from this individual, assuming it is a neighbor. He provided a lot of insight about the Summer Wells case, what transpired around the time Summer was reported missing. He gave examples and his firsthand knowledge about things before Summer was reported missing and after Summer was reported missing.